Super Bowl threat because they now have one of the best play callers in Mike McCarthy, the best receiving unit in the league, and Dak, who they dubbed as the second most valuable quarterback based on last season. So, Shannon, do you have a problem with this?
Yes. How they underrated. Every year we hear about how much talent they have. They've always had talent. The Cowboys, people make it seem like the Cowboys just all of a sudden. Skip, they used to have T.O., they had Tony Romo, they had Jason Witten in his prime, they had Marion Barber, they had DeMarco Murray, they had Leonard Davis, they had Hotel Adams. They had DeMarcus Ware. They had Roy Williams, who was an all-pro, Pro Bowl safety. Greg Ellis. They've always had talent.
And this offensive line has young players?
Yes. Whew. When they had DeMarco Murray, who's offensive player of the year, who rushed for over 1,800 yards. Dez Bryant in his prime. Jason Witten. This offensive line, as you mentioned, in their absolute apex. And now all of a sudden, and all I've heard about, Skip, Dak is got the third or fourth best odds to win the MVP. They said
I've seen it as high as third.
Yes. Okay, you took C.D. Lamb. Everybody's been raving about C.D. Lamb.
Well, I have.
No, even Skip, everybody's talking about, oh, he's pretty soon. I mean, he just makes it look so good. I mean, Amari's Amari, but C.D. Lamb has been unbelievable. I mean, I'm confused with this. The Cowboys, people have been picking the Cowboys to get to the Super Bowl. Skip, you can't get picked to get to the Super Bowl and be underrated. That's ridiculous. And that's ridiculous. And I just can't get it. Skip, nobody. How can the Cowboys ever be underrated, Skip? Everybody talk about them. Oh, look, I think I just read yesterday, Skip, they're worth $5.7 billion. 5.7, that's with a B. That's what they're valued at. And who's on Sunday, Skip? Sunday night. Who's on Sunday night? The highest generated game of the 10 highest generated games, 5 of them every year have who, Skip? The Cowboys in it. So how are they underrated? What are we missing?
They're opening a new stadium out here that's actually worth even more than Jerry's yacht, right?
It's double what Jerry paid for his playpen, who was state of the art, but they say this is right. When they say state of the art.
You got it.
You don't believe they're underrated. No, they are not. Skip, this oh my goodness. They're so ridiculous with this. And you know it too.
In my heart of hearts, I do know it.
Exactly.
You got me on this one. And yet, this year is so weird, so strange, so utterly unpredictable.
Yeah.
That I hark back to last night, what we saw. One team didn't look in midseason form, the Chiefs, that they looked in playoff form, and the other team looked like they were in virtual OTAs. I think we're going to see a lot of that, but you made the point earlier, we're probably going to see more of the latter.
Right.
So how do I know what I'm going to see Sunday night? I'll be the first to tell you I do not. But the point, to your point, that Pro Football Focus is suddenly calling my quarterback last year the second most valuable quarterback. They went 8-8.
Thank you.
How can you say that? Even I can't say that. In my wildest daydreams, I can't think of him as the second most valuable quarterback last year because I don't know how many times we talked about, you gave him 7 Fs in his last 13 starts last year. And a couple of them, he deserved.
Yes.
He was not great down the stretch last year, especially at New England and at Chicago and against Buffalo on Thanksgiving and then at Eagles, it was the closeout game, one way or the other, sink or swim, rise or shine, and they fell on their face. He had a banged-up shoulder, but I can't give him that pass and that excuse. He just wasn't very good. And remember, he missed Tavon Austin, who'd broken wide open on a throw that could have maybe tied the game if they had made a two-point conversion.
Right.
Okay, so we got that going on. And then I read, there's another anonymous quote. We're going to get to this a little later, but it adds up all the bad things that have gone wrong since July. Okay, Dak doesn't have a contract. Is he going to have even more pressure this year to go play for a contract, show Jerry? Yeah, he will. Am I a little nervous about that? Yeah, I thought he started pressing down the stretch about the contract. Then Gerald McCoy, I thought he was going to be the new pillar, anchor, and leader of the defense, and he's gone.
Yep.
And then Randy Gregory might or might not be. He's